Hey my vintage paper lovers, welcome to Steph's Design Space where the past and present meet in journal form. Today I am working on my Roaring 20's book. So far I have the cover done. Make sure you check out that video on how I created this gorgeous cover. And now we are going to be figuring out what we are doing for our signatures. And all the stuff that I have, I did not have many things from the 20's, and I like to use authentic vintage items for my signatures, and then I will use a mix of modern and vintage for my deco. That's how I like to create my signatures. So I did print this on coffee paper. It is like an old newspaper from the 20's. It's all right. I will probably use it because it's there, but I'm not impressed, so I'll quit doing it. It just doesn't look right. There's this advertisement from 1924. I'm not sure that I'll put it in there, but I have it just in case. So what I do is I gather. I do a lot of gathering. When I see something that I think might go in there, like that black little flower, some beaded black lace, just plain black lace. When I see stuff, I throw it in my little, I call it a bucket. It's a drawer, doesn't matter. I'll get to this in a minute. Out of all the postcards I have, only 2 of them were postmarked the 20's. So I have both of these. So I have those. These, I want to say it's around the 20's just based on what I'm seeing. They are envelopes. Now these are not, obviously they are not vintage. They are made to look vintage, but I'm okay with that. So I like using these little packs in my signatures. Y'all don't need my thank yous. I don't know what that's doing in there. Okay, these I looked it up. They are from a leather company and they are the original, I mean, some of them are not in great shape, original labels for their items. And so it is from, I want to say when I looked it up, it was like from 1923. So I have those. I looked this one up and this was from the 20's. Did I write the date on it? No, I didn't. Anyway, so I have that. This actually came out of the ledger. These, okay, so I did not know this, guys. So I have these cards, and I think I wrote on the back of one. It is from a game called Banner Lotto from the 1920's. I only have the cards, I don't have the whole game. The whole game is going for almost $300 on eBay. How crazy is that? I didn't get these to sell, so I'm going to use these in my journal. But yeah, these are from the 20's. It was a kid's game. So it wasn't actually bingo. It was like a different kind of game. Anyway, I have those. Ugh, my allergies. I made this last night. So again, I walk around and I gather, and this is Tim Holtz, so this is not, obviously, vintage, but it does remind me of the industrial age. So I thought, you know what, I can use a little bit of this on things. So I used it on a vellum tag and it looks really cool. So, and then my little gold thing. So I made that, just incorporating this to see if I liked it. I do have a authentic check from 1923. December 31st, and it was actually postmarked on January 4th, 1924. I don't know if y'all can see that. Very cool though. Love that. So I have that check. These are from the 20's. It was a paper pad, well, kind of, that I have. And so I did, Google Lens, and I want to say it was from 24, 26. I haven't tried to fold it in half to see how brittle it is, but let's do that now. Sometimes they are, yeah, it's too brittle for a signature because you can see the cracking. So I won't be able to do that unless, now I could do it if I like hinged it together, and I might do that. We'll see. Okay, this was attached to this one with a, look, they didn't even do a staple. They just did a freaking straight pin. And it was attached to the straight pin. And then in all my moving stuff around, it came off. But anyway, I know these are from the 20s. There is a date, 1925. So, I pulled out all the ones that are from the 20s that has some kind of writing on them. Again, 1925 and 1925. So this is all 1925 from a ledger. So I have those. My gosh. I am so sorry. Okay, and this one is a music sheet, and I punched in the Roman numeral numbers. I do know Roman numeral, but sometimes math is math. And it's from 1921. So I thought, you know what? That's cool. I can use that. And then these are just some leftovers that I played with when I was creating the cover. I did get some stencils out because I do have some thoughts on that. So I love the car. Very 20s to me. It could be older, but you know, who knows. I'm not going to do those things per se, but these little not mid-century, Lord, I have a whole nother project in my brain right now, and then mid-century is it, from the 20s. So Art Deco, that's the 20s, Art Deco. And then my fringe, so we've already seen that. So I'm going to put these back because I'm not going to use these right now. Oh, last but not least, this is a piano roll. I don't know because it's in another language, if it's from the 20s, but I do know these were very popular in the 20s. So I'm just going to go with that. Okay, I'm just going to go with that. But I don't know about y'all, but I love using piano roll in my signatures. I would love to figure out how to incorporate this whole thing into my signature. But I don't know yet. So I know for sure I'm going to use the piano roll paper. Come on, get tight. I'm going to use the paper, but I may not use that flat. I may use that flat for something else. Sorry, I'm just rolling it up right now. All right, I'm going to put that back in the box. All right, so that goes there. All right, so all the things that I'm going to use for my signatures, I'm going to put this in the box for now. This, I feel like it's just going to be too brittle to use as a signature. So I'm gonna leave that down in this box for the moment. Okay. Now always use coffee dye paper, so I might as well just get these folded. Now I realize coffee dye paper is not vintage, but I do it because it's the most vintage looking paper, and if I'm using a lot of vintage papers that have writing on them, I like to have something that kind of breaks up that writing. So that is why I do that. Now, don't forget that I am doing this collab with Susan over at I Totally Love It. I will link her again in the description down below. There are several other people who have also joined in on this collab, and Susan has them linked in her series. So make sure you check them out because some of them are doing, not some, all of them are doing a fantastic job. I have been so inspired. I am so inspired by Susan. I'm actually kind of jealous that I didn't think of it, but I love her theme. She's doing like a diary. Like hers is based on a woman and her diary and her experiences through the 20s. And I just think that is such a phenomenal idea. So, man, I now will store that away in my Okay, these are going to be like deco. These are going to be pockets for sure. This is probably going to get, it's too fragile for anything. It's going to get glued onto something and used. So these are all deco, not signatures. Let me put those back in my little bucket over there. And okay, that's going to end up being deco. Okay, these are going to get folded in half. Like that. And I need to go ahead and cut because I always forget. Because they're going to end up being like pockets. There we go. And I'm going to do my, my cover is for 2 signatures. So you will see me have quite a few things that I'll like, that's 2 of. Like these. Because I like to share some of the same items in each signature. Not all, but some. I don't know how to cut. Hopefully that's, yeah, that's good. Man, I don't know what, we're in South Texas right now, and there's no such thing as fall down here. We are in the 80s, and it is hot, and all the things. So, there is no accounting for. Okay, I am going to take 2 of these. This one I already folded, so it's already cracked, but I can use that for deco. I can glue it onto a card or something. These 2 I'm going to hinge together, so I can sew them in. Now, the key is, do I have hinges handy? And it's not hard to make hinges, but I know I have pre-made hinges. The key to that is, where are they? Here are 2. Oh, 3. Are they long enough? No. No, they are not long enough. Okay, well, I know what I do have. And I know they are long enough. And so I sell Braille paper on my website. And it comes like this. This is the edge of the Braille paper, and it's in this ginormous book with these big metal brads. And so I trimmed this off. And so I can package the paper and all of that. So that is what these are. I just feel like they're a bit wide. Okay, let me just take 1. So I'm just showing you my whole process. So when I have this idea in my head, this is my process. And then the see-through things, I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I'm not worried about the color because I have ink. I can dye it, you know, I can ink it up and it look okay. I am more concerned that it is too thick. Okay, I'm not going to stress over that. What I will do is I will just do this at another time and I will show it to you. Okay, because I want to get through to this. So I know this is going to be 2. Now we have music. I wish I mean, this does have the date on it. That's the only page, I think, but I know that it is there. And I can sew that in. So this is going to be 1 piece. Is this too brittle to fold in half? Probably, but where's my half mark? Right there. Oh, that's perfect. I will just cut it right there. Because my pages, I like them to be uneven. I don't like every single page to be the same exact size. So, in efforts to keep the music the same, going the proper way in my signature, I am going to cut it It's not going to be perfectly in half, and I am okay with that. I'm going to cut it where it makes sense to me. And this will go in one signature, and then this will go in the other signature. And if I need more, then I can come back and get more. But right now we're just going to stick with one music sheet in each signature. And then I have my ledgers. Okay, these are the postcards. That is deco, so I'm going to put that back in the little bucket. This doesn't have anything on it, which is kind of nice. But let me see if I do end up having double-sided one. Nope. Because the whole book was not written in. It was the beginning of the book, and that's why it is not double-sided. Here we have a double-sided one. Okay, so I'm going to use this one in a signature, and then, I'm just going to have to use a non-double-sided one in a signature. And put those to the side. Again, if I need more, because I have this magazine to go through. So this one goes pretty far down. So what I like to do is once I get it in there, I will probably end up folding this up to make a pocket. Okay, so it will be the proper width, but I will end up having a pocket. Although it's going to cover up a lot of that writing, but I could always do it this way and bring it up. Yep, I can do it that way and it doesn't cover up as much. So that is what I typically do when my pages are too long or too wide, as opposed to cutting them. I make pockets. So we have that one, and I'm just folding just for, you know, I'm not going to fold because I need to make sure for sure how high it needs to go. Okay, I'm going to set this over to the side because it's in my way. This McCall's is big. So I'm going to scooch all that over. Oh, this goes back in the bucket. I realize it's a drawer. I don't know why I start calling them buckets, but that's just a bucket, and that's just the way that it is, right? Okay, now let's go through this beautiful McCall's book and see. First, I want to find the center. Because it is stapled, which means I want to undo the staples. So if I find pages I absolutely want to use, once I undo the staples, then I have a signature. It's in signature form. You know, it's put together. All right. So this is from May 2025. All right, well, you know what? Let's just flip through it, and I will eventually... Oh, look at that. Isn't she the one in the front? Or no? No, this is a postcard. Okay, so definitely using her. It is postmarked 1920. Where's this from? Probably France. It looks interesting. But isn't she gorgeous? She's embracing the change. There was so much change happening in the 20s. Okay, the staples are, I just realized, right there. There was so much change happening in the 20s. And especially for women, we actually got the right to vote. Then we turned around and was like, you know what? We don't want our men drinking no more, so let's do prohibition. And that did not work out well. The war had ended, and prohibition created a whole slew of problems, right? That's when we had all the gangsters and all of that kind of stuff. some things sound great in theory, but the ramifications aren't always what we expect them to be. Okay, I'm trying to do it with that, and that's not going to work. So let me get my pokey tool. There we go. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm trying to teach my granddaughter who is living with us. It's like, baby, you can make all the choices you want, but you never ever get to pick your consequences. Life picks those. And just because you think something would go a certain way does not mean that it will. 9 times out of 10, it will not go the way that you thought it should go or would go. And I feel like that's the way it was with Prohibition. Is, you know, it was a good thought and I understand it, but there were consequences for that decision, and they were not what the women thought they would be, I guarantee you. Anyway, but the clothes and the fashion and all of that is amazing. The changes that, and they happened rather quickly. Okay, I need you to come out. Like, I don't know how many of you watched Downton Abbey. And I realized that was, you know, over in England. But they went through the same things, just different, right? Theirs was more set with tradition. So it was a bit different than the changes happening in America. Come on. So, but they did happen rather quickly, the changes, because the women were all about it, like the young women. The older ones were like, no, I am not turning my bustle in for nobody. All right, let's just flip through here very gently, because I don't want to tear anything. Beauty is fragile. And so this is McCall, so this is definitely a women's magazine, but we can see the fashions here. Oh, the building of a cathedral. The Mad Moon. See, this way they're already loose. Uh-oh. This is a story, I think. There's a lot of stories. The Keeper of the Bees. But these right here, that is just prime gorgeousness for the times. Just trying to get these papers to unmarry each other. And then what would we do without Campbell's? The story of women through the ages. Look at that. The woman of rank might be treated with the most amazing of brutality. Huh, interesting. Oh, 62% of Washington and Baltimore debutantes find this soap the best for their skin. Look at that. Why should my family love me? Well, that is, I guess, the question that we've been asking ourselves all the time. Oh, look, Miss Vanderbilt. Who knew? Then we have ads. Some really nice, colorful ads. Every bean is hand-selected. Their little uniform. Hosiery. Lord Jesus, I'm so glad we don't have to go through that anymore. Toothbrushes. You wouldn't have believed it of this girl. I wonder what she did. You buy 125 dozen eggs every year. Can y'all see that? Yeah, I just want to make sure y'all are still in frame. This is a big magazine here. Then we have cleaning our clothes. Every woman needs dress shields. Wonder if those are the same as aprons. I don't know. Gold medal flower. It's amazing how some of these places, these companies survived for so long. Del Monte. Women's New Freedom. Countless women in suburbs and countries have learned the secret of freedom from long kitchen hours lies in their cook stoves. Interesting. It's a nice picture though. Oh, Montgomery Ward. Mazzola. Linoleum. Up the newest ways to dress your hair. I'm going to speed it up a bit. I don't know which ones I'm going to use. I'm going to show you this whole catalog, and then I'm probably going to sit through and take my time and decide what I'm going to use. Pull them out and show you on the next video what I decided. But this way you get to see everything, because I don't want my videos to be, you know, 1,200 hours long. No more pitiful wails. Aw, the babies. Look at the babies. Silk gloves. That's a gorgeous, beautiful pink picture. Oh, I think I know exactly what I'm going to do with that. Not for this journal, but I create like hat boxes or tins full of beautiful vintage items, and I do, oh my gosh, I just swore that. I do raffles on my Facebook group. And I have one now that's pinks, so I may add some of these vintage pages to the pinks. Look at those outfits. How I love that in the front. And if you notice, there's very few overweight women. I'm not even going to go into all of that because I am an overweight woman and I know exactly why. But man, look at that. So... oh, they still had some corsets, but they were not the same. They didn't have bustles. Look at the little babies and little girls. Little boys and their knickers. Some beautiful headwear. Oh my gosh, I saw some beautiful headwear that look like that. Look at that beauty mask while you sleep. The little circus. Oh, look, you can cut them out. They're, like paper dolls, but circus. Oh, Miss Wilcox Answers to Women. I bet those are some interesting questions, and that's the end. So I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to go through this magazine. I'm going to find the pages that I want to use in my signatures, and I will add them to this along with the piano roll. But just so you kind of know how I do things. Let me set that to the side. Please do not have a craft-a-lanch. Okay, so I kind of separate it out. So that is 1, 2, that's going to be 3, 4, and then I have 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 pages so far for each book. I will do around 12 per signature. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I only need 4. Now I could always take out some of the coffee dyed paper if I wanted to. But I only need about 4 of the McCalls to finish off my signatures. So we will see what I come up with in the next video. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go in the description box. Follow Susan. Her journal is coming along beautifully. I am loving it so much. She is so talented. Don't forget to follow me in all of the places. And until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye.